Mr.
Good morning.
Griffin,
Yes,
my name
ma'am.
my name is Cheryl Renatza. We're here for a revocation decision this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a revocation decision form in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated October 28th,
Yes, ma'am.
2021?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay. Based on that information, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Gonna get it over with.
Okay. So you're a violated. So I'm going to read the allegations against you. You'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. Specifically, condition number 2, you failed to report to the parole office since June 15, 2021. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
What you want me to plead?
You either plead guilty, you plead not guilty, but you can plead guilty with a statement or not guilty with a statement.
Okay, I'm gonna plead not guilty with a statement.
Not guilty with a statement. Okay, we'll get that statement in a second. Hold
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
Number 3, condition number 3, you moved from your listed approved residence sometime on or before June 15, 2021, and you did not notify this office, the parole board, the parole office, of your new address. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
With a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Condition number 9, you moved from your listed approved address on or about June 15, 2021 without permission and did not notify the parole office of your new address, making visits to the residence impossible. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
That's not guilty with a statement. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's just a different condition number. We lost your, there you go. I can see you now.
Okay.
Condition number 10, you failed to make any fee payments, and as a result, you're $315 in arrears on your supervision fees. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I plead not guilty with a statement.
Okay. Condition number 13, special conditions. You violated your sex offender specific conditions by failing to notify the sheriff's office of your change of residence within 3 business days. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, ma'am.
Okay, so let's just talk about it. Let's talk about the first one. You
Yes,
failed
ma'am.
to report. You failed to report since June 15. Now, I noticed in your preliminary hearing that you said you lived at the residence on, what was the address of the residence?
3414 Willow Glen Street.
Willow Glen. You lived there until
Willow Glen River Road.
sometime around September. That's what you said at your preliminary hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
And but the property owner said they had not seen you at that residence since June.
Yes, that's possible because they don't live in the same residence. They just live like across the street.
Why did you leave that residence? Okay, if you stayed there till September, you may or may not have, but why did you leave in September?
No, all I did was took everything out the room because I had caught some type of carpet mice, bed bug. I went to Cabristis Hospital. You know, they got the record that'll show that I had carpet mice or whatever. I don't know what it was. This shit. I mean, I'm sorry my language. It was creepy, and so I took all my stuff out the room to try to fumigate the room. You know, and I got the record of it. I mean, but it's Cabristis Hospital.
Cabrini?
Yes, ma'am. It's like a little clinic. And they said it was carpet mites, mites, you know what I'm saying? And so my stuff was out the room, but I still checked in every day. I ain't checked in with nobody. I went there because my mail come there. I got a bank card I was waiting on coming there. I just went seen one of the roommates and asked him was my bank card there. But I don't know, maybe I got a understanding of like I don't know. It's this big misunderstanding. That's what it was just got to be. Like, because I still was going to the house. I just wasn't living in the quarters of the room because of the carpet mice. So
Where were you living? Where were you
I sleep
living?
outside. I sleep outside or stay in the streets outside. You know what I'm saying? Or I sleep outside my job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking that I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just thinking I'm doing what I got to do to, take to survive out here. But
Were you homeless?
no, because I had a room, but I wouldn't go in there with them carpet mice and those good. I don't, Lord. So I guess I wasn't homeless, but from the report they said the landlord ain't seen me, so I guess they gave my room away. But I still was going over there. Maybe if I would have went in the room, I
you
would have
weren't
found
living in that room. You were not living where you were supposed to be. And you can say all you want about bed bugs, carpet,
yeah,
lights, whatever it was.
I'm not disagreeing.
There's a way to treat that situation.
Yes, ma'am. I thought I had to just stay from out there and let the medicine. They gave me some medicine to rub on me. I don't know. You're right, ma'am. I'm not want to argue with you. That I just an honest mistake. Maybe I get it right next time. I just I don't know. I felt like.
Where were you working?
At Hickson Auto.
What were you doing for Hickson?
Detailing cars, ma'am. Right across from the parole office.
What's the name of the place you were staying?
It's a name to it. 3414 Willie Glen.
No, I know, but you
Mr.
said other people that had rooms. Is that?
Oh yeah, yes, ma'am. I ain't never had no name to it. I go Volunteers of America got me out and sent me there, and they said they were gonna pay my rent for the first 2 months, and then they was gonna gradually let me start paying it.
Were you paying rent at the time?
No, ma'am.
Where were you working?
I was at Hickson. I started working at first I started at labor finders. Labor finders first, then I started finding side hustles like on Kincaid Lake. People want their gardens did, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, and I try to do whatever.
Why were you late on your fees?
The day I come to go pay them, my parole, they say my parole officer wasn't there. And like I get paid every Friday. I had the money. I got the money now. I got $1,100 at the job. Can't nobody get because I never feel for somebody to come go get my money when I'm locked up or anything happen. But I was going to pay it in, and I thought the pandemic kept me from. Oh, well, we probably ain't got there yet. I don't want to overtalk myself.
Well, I do see somewhere along the way in your paperwork that it says you said you misunderstood because you thought if you had symptoms of COVID, you didn't have to report. Did you have COVID?
I got sick, but they never said. I always said negative. They always test negative. But my family, my mom, all of them had got COVID, and I went. I did 11 flats. So if 11 years in prison ain't killed me, I don't think the COVID gonna give me. But just a precaution, I stayed away. But they say I should have called. I did call. I called several times, and that it's a nice lady that sit right in the glass with speaker at. She told me, have I been sick? I told her yes, ma'am, but I ain't tested positive for COVID. She gave me a card, say, well, your parole officer might not want to see you. But I was wondering, well, if I had the warrant then, why they ain't arrest me then? Because I was like, can I please talk to her? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. If I messed up, ma'am, maybe I'll try again later.
Look, you're a third offender. You know the system. Okay. The reason we're here is because of the failure to register as a sex offender in the first place. And that's why we're here again today. Because you claim you were living wherever you were living. You wasn't in the room wherever you were supposed to be. And that's an issue for us. We take that very seriously. And so I don't have any more questions. I'm going to let Mr. Roche. I see he has some questions.
I do better next time.
Good morning, Ms. Griffin. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Good. We, Ms. Renaza, asked you where were you staying, you said outside, but you went to the house every day to check your room and to check your mail.
And get my mail, yes, sir.
Your parole officer went to your residence at least once a day, sometimes twice a day.
Yes.
All times of night.
Yes.
There was mail under your door.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been mailed for 4 or 5 days.
Hold on. Ain't no mail.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
And it asked the other people that lived in the home. I hadn't seen him. At one point, he went across the street and talked to the landlord.
Yes, sir.
And he hadn't seen you in 3 or 4 days. But
Yes, sir.
you said you checked on your room each and every day. Is that correct?
No, sir. I said I go to the house. I stopped going to the room because of the mites, the bugs. But I mean, if you want to put it like that, sir, I just do better next time, y'all. You know, I just know better next time.
So you checked the house every day?
Yes, sir, because I got mail and I'll be looking for, I started a bank account at Red River Bank and I was looking for my bank card and stuff, you know? And I know it was a period of time I was going to put everything back in my room after I keep washing it and get the mites and, you know.
Okay. Why was your mail back 2 or 3 days under your door? And why you went and no one you talked to or saw you in 2 or 3 weeks?
Okay, I can answer that. The mail wasn't under my door. The mail was in the kitchen. When I went up there, I went knocked on one of my neighbor's door. His name Frank, and I asked him, "Did a bank card come?" He say no, but all your mail on the table in the kitchen. I grabbed, looked through it.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Oh yes, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I do better next time, but this was enough, sir. I swear I do.
Is there a brief statement you'd like to make to us before we reach a decision?
Thank y'all thank y'all for y'all time.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But well, we're not done yet. We got to tell you what we're going to decide. Sorry, I didn't have my video on. Mr. Griffin.
Yes, ma'am.
You like to talk, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
I want to get it over.
It's not altogether a bad thing. Look, I'm going to vote first because I started out. Your case was assigned to me,
yes,
and
ma'am.
I hear your excuses, and I
yes,
hear you say you were confused, but
yes,
I still violated the conditions of your parole.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're the people who lived in the house with you said they hadn't seen in quite some time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your officer took pictures of the mail under the door, so I'm not sure you're being very truthful with us. My vote today is to revoke your parole.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Roche?
My vote is also to revoke your parole, and you bordering on getting a disciplinary write-up for being disrespectful and discourteous.
Thank you, sir.
Miss Jackson? You're still on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No.
me. All right, Miss Griffin.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give it to you. You've got a pretty upbeat personality.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I can't do nothing. I can't. I refuse to be. I can't.
Okay. Well, that upbeat personality can take you far.
Yes, ma'am.
Put it to the right use.
It have. I made it to a good job, and it's waiting on me. As soon as thank you.
Well, today I'm gonna have to vote to revoke you because of the violations that have been proven in the case. But I wish you well.
Thank you, ma'am.
When you get out next time, you'll know better, right?
I would do. Yes, ma'am. I would do.
And when you know better, you do better, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Mr. Griffin.
You too.
Good luck, Griffin.
All right. Y'all have a nice day.
I think that concludes our business at Rep Eve.
I was laughing a little bit too as I was watching, and it was quite interesting. Mr. Roche says, you're bordering on getting a write-up for basically the attitude, and then you have kind of like Miss Renatza and Miss Jackson that kind of thinks is kind of getting a crack out of it. And, if he was in there for something else, I might have felt, differently about it. But, the information I have here, thank you, Richard. I see two offenses of a sexual nature. One where his conviction date was 2008, and that was for simple R word. And then he has another conviction, date convicted of carnal knowledge of a juvenile in 2006. So that one's before this one. So I see two charges 2 years apart. And he actually has 2 counts of simple R word, but both on the same date. I mean, so when you look at the fact that this guy is really a serial, he's a tier 3, and it's just like someone who's really not. And then he's not living at the same place. He says he's living on the street, and he's all. It's like, come on, take you know that there's like one thing you have to do, and you don't do that. And then you just like show up. And I know that there are many watching this that would just find it incredibly disrespectful, as I think Mr. Roche found the situation. He's saying, "Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. But, it's classic. You see date convicted 20. It's not clear to me, because it looks like both is even though they're 2 years apart, the conviction date, the release dates are both 2014. The classic, just little slap on the wrist sentences that Louisiana gives people who harm children. What's the big deal? It's just a child. I don't know how much time he's backing. I don't know. He didn't seem to really care. It's like, whatever, just continue going on in his life. But this hearing did take place in 2021, and the information that I have shows that he is out. So he didn't have much time. He wasn't back in much time, and maybe that's part of why he didn't really care that much. What did you feel? Did you feel he was being disrespectful in the way that he was acting, or did you feel that it's just his personality and, call it what it was? But with that, I'll let you go.